Hello all, my name is Abdul Rahman, and in this video I am going to create a database for storing the data which we have added onto our website. So if you remember in the last video, here we have created this type of page, something like here we have given my to do, then we have this nav bar, then we have email address, we have all of this stuff. So first of all I am going to run this one. So it's first of all I'm going to run this one by typing python python app.py, and then I'm going to give here the tab, press your tab, and then I'm going to press here the enter. So it's taking some time for running the program. Okay, so now I'm going to reload this page. As you can see here, nothing has been changed. So first of all, what I want to do here is like below this email address and password, here I want to add like something like a table, a type of table where I can enter my to-do list. Okay, like what I have to do in the future, like what I have to do from 1 hour now, and I have to give here to-do list. I want to create a table, something like that. And then there should be some buttons for deleting that to-do list, and I should do all of those stuff. Okay, and one more thing. So here we have this submit, checkout. So I want to remove all of these things. So instead of email address, I want to give her some type of title, and then here I'm going to give her the content or description. So and I'm going to remove this check me out, and then I'm going to keep this submit button. So first of all, I'm going to here add a table. So for that, I'm going to go on the bootstrap here, get bootstrap. So I'm searching for a table. So let's type here that one like table tables. So we have this table. Okay, so let's check for, so we can add this type of table, and we have this type of table. We can add any one. Let's check this one. So we can add this type of also. Nothing has been happened. Okay, so we can add any type of tables here. So first of all, I'm going to change its version, like instead of 5.0, let's give here the 5.2. So I'm going to press here enter, and in the tables it's same as it is. So instead of this one, let's give here the 5.0 itself, because from the time we're using this one itself. So we have overview. So first of all, I'm going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy this to the clipboard. So here we have all of this stuff, and now I'm going to go in the VS Code, and I'm going to make this some smaller. Okay, so I'm going to go in the index.html. So here now, right now, I'm going to create a div.container, something like that. So I'm going to give here something like div.container, container, something like this. Okay, so we have this div.container, and now I'm going to paste that one here itself. So I'm going to paste this one. Okay, so now I'm going to delete this one, all of those stuff, and now I'm going to open the terminal again, this PowerShell. So right now we have this activated. So let's check for not this one. Okay, so now let's run this one, python python app.py. I'm going to press the tab. So app.py, so it's still running. So here I'm going to just close this one. I'm not going to delete or clear all of that one. Okay, so I'm going to save. Now let's reload our this page. So as you can see here, we are getting something like submit. So here we are getting this type of table. So in the first, I'm going to give here the title, and here I should give some description or content instead of last. And for this one, I'm going to give here some actions, like when I'm clicking on that one, I should go somewhere, something like that. I want to do all of those stuff. So now I'm going to, okay, so I don't, now first of all, here I want some space between the submit button and this table. Okay, so I want to keep another table, this type of, so which is looking, not this one, so it is looking pretty much good. These both are same. So let's check for this one. Okay, so let's copy this one and class table hover. So instead of container, I'm going to paste this one. Control Z. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this one, this table hover, and I'm going to paste this instead of this one. So I'm going to just select this and paste that one here. Okay, so now let's check here and reload our page. We don't have anything. Table hover. So it was saying something like, so then in the table class it should give that in the table class. Okay, so let's do this one instead of this one. Let's paste this. So now I'm going to reload this page. So I'm getting something like this. So this is looking somewhat good. Okay, so anyhow, so designing is not much needed on the website. Okay, anyhow, so just we are creating this one. So now I want some space between the submit button and this table. So I'm going to go on to our this one, and we have like, I want to below this div container, I'm going to add here like a tag known as h2. Okay, and then I'm going to close this. Okay, so here I'm going to give here your to-do list. Okay, your to-do to-do list, something like this. So my to-do list, for example. Okay, so anyhow, so my to-do list, let's give here yourself. So your. So I'm going to give something like this itself. So your to-do list, something like this. So now we have this to-do list, and now I'm going to not just reload this page. So as you can see here, I'm getting this something like your to-do list, something like this. Okay, so now anyhow, we are getting this. So now I want some space between submit button and our table. So for that, I'm going to give here the, instead of container, I'm going to add here something like y-axis, my my3. Okay, so I'm going to reload this one. So as you can see here, we have some space between these things, like your to-do list. We are getting something like this. So what if we give like mx? Okay, so now let's check for the mx3. So it's for exactly something like that. So we are going to get here and at the end of this page. So let's give my3 itself. So now I am going to reload this one. So we don't need any of this one. So here also I want the here above the email address and this navbar, I want here some space. So for that I'm going to open this one, and instead of just container, let's add here like my3, and then if I reload this page, as you can see here, I am getting something like some spaces here. I am getting all of this stuff. Okay, so now I'm going, so here what I want is, as I said you, here it should be serial number. So this is should be like title, and it should be description content, and this should be something like what we say action. And here I should get two options like update and delete, because here what I'm going to do is, like for example, what you are going to do is, I'm going to explain you how our website will be. So instead of email address, we are going to give our to-do list title. So our to-do title, and then we are going to give here the to-do list description. Our to-do contains. Okay, it's like what I have to do, what you have to do, whatever it is. Anyhow, and then here I'm going to give here something like that. So after submitting that, you are doing something like this. So here you are going to get like, if you want to update that one, you can update the one, we can update that one here, something like that. Okay, so now let's before doing that, let's do one thing. So we don't want this drop down, so if you want you can keep it. So let's remove that later on. So first of all, let's go here. So we have this first handle, last, we have all of this stuff. So here we are already rendered the template. So first of all, let's create the database. Okay, and before creating, let's do one more thing. So on our website here, I want to remove this check me out, and here I want to add something like, here we have like your to-do list. So instead of, so here also I want to add your to-do, and here I want to give something like I want to give to do description, right, to do title, and to do content, something like that I want to give. Okay, so anyhow, so first of all I'm going to open the VS code, and then I'm going to search for email address. So first of all, let's remove this email address, and before this one, where is my to do list? I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to paste. So I have pasted this one below this. So let's paste this one also here itself. So let's paste this. I'm going to give here like add to do, something like this. Okay, and then okay, so anyhow guys, I'm going to open this one and reload this. So as you can see here, we are getting add a to do. So instead of email address, I want to give like title, something like that. So I don't want this one, so I'm going to remove this one, add or tod or to do title, title, to do title, not this one. Okay, so let's check. So we have the reload. So to do title, I want to get something like this, and then instead of password, where is password, I want to see. Okay, so instead of password, I want to give like to do, content, to do content, something like that. And then instead of this example, let's remove this one. So first of all, I'm going to remove this whole line, delete. Okay, so now I have deleted that one. Now let's reload this page. So we have this one. Now I want to remove this check me out. So this is from this one. So this is closing, not, I want to remove this whole one. So first of all, I'm going to remove this one, remove, and now I'm going to reload this one. So we are getting the submit button here itself. So let's do again. Okay, so instead of this one, let's remove this line. Okay, so now let's reload. So I don't want this box also, so let's remove for the box. Now let's do one thing, let's remove this box. Okay, so now let's reload. So we have some space, and I want to remove this space also, and reload this one. So this div button is coming here somewhere. So let's remove this div button, and now let's reload it again. So we are getting, so I want that one, something like that. So we were having something like this one. So now anyhow, so we have the submit button, and we have this to-do list. And one more thing I want to do here is, instead of this one, I want to give here something like serial number, something like that. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to search that where it is, and I have to remove here is like, instead of this example email, I'm going to give here something like title. Let's give example. So instead of this one, I want to give here something like title, title, and then instead of this for also, no, so we were having this one. Okay, so let's leave this for example input email. Let's do that later on. So now what I want to do is, here I want to create a database. Okay, so I'm going to create the SQLite database. Like, So we can create the MySQL database, but so creating the SQLite database is pretty much simple. So let's create the database, SQLite database. So I'm going to open this. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to do that later on. So let's do this one, because so we are getting here some type of email itself. So instead of this one, for we have email input, example input email. So instead of this one, I'm going to give it something like title, title. Okay, and then we have the form label. This one should be there itself. So instead of this title, we don't have to do anything, just text. And so we have also this one, and instead of this one, I'm going to give here the title, something like this. So now we are going to give it the example input password we have. So let's give here some type of description, or DESC, something like this itself. So instead of password also, we don't have anything like text. Okay, so I'm going to give it the text itself. So instead of this one also, I'm going to give here the description. So let's give here the, instead of this one, let's give the to do description. So description, DSCRIPTION, to do description, something like this. Okay, so now let's reload our page, add a to do. So we are getting all of this stuff. So instead of this one, I want to keep something like s serial number. So now I'm going to give you something like s number, serial number, something like this. So I'm going to reload this page. Okay, so now this is the better one. So first of all, I'm going to go in the app.py. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to create the SQLite database. As I said, we are not going to create the MySQL database. So that's why, so because it's pretty much complicated, not that much, we can do it, but it will be some waste of time. So that's why I'm going to use the, what we say, the SQLite database. So first of all, let's install the SQLite. So I'm going to open the terminal, so which is pretty much still running. Okay, so it's still running. So let's open another PowerShell. Okay, so here I'm going to, so it's activated only. So I'm going to install pip, and then I'm going to install the install the SQL Flask, then dash SQL SQL Alchemy, ALHEMY, something like this. Okay, so ALCHEMY. So pip install Flask SQL Alchemy. So it's taking some time. Let's get it be there. So it's saying something like pip install. So we are getting here something like what we say. So here we are getting the, what we say, warnings. So a lot of warnings. So let's check why are we getting those warnings. So let's type that one. So could not find a version certified from version none, error no matching. So Flask SQL Alchemy, it's showing me the error. So let's type like Flask dash, or we don't need to type like Flask SQL Alchemy. Anyhow, so let's give here something like pip install Flask, pip install the, again I'm going to put an enter here. Okay, and then it's showing me the, what we say, again something like that only. So let's check the, now I'm going to give this one. Okay, so we have like pip install, then we have the Flask SQL ALCHEMY itself. So I'm getting some error like trying none. Okay, so version. Okay, so I think we don't have the, so we are getting the connection error. So it was the connection error, so it was not coming before because of the connection, so I was not having the internet. So now I'm going to press here pip install Flask SQL Alchemy. So now let's check whether it's installing. So it has been downloading the Flask SQL Alchemy. alchemy, then whatever it is. So it's doing something. Okay, so till the time, let's import the Flask here. So I'm going to press here, not this one. I'm going to press here. Okay, so I'm going to give something like from flask sql alchemy from Flask equal alchemy. So I'm going to import the import. So Flask equal alchemy, it's importing the SQL. Okay, and then I'm going to import lchemy. So it's showing me the error because Flask and then SQL SQL alchemy. So it's loading. So I think it has not been. Let's check again. So I'm going to give from the now I'm going to give the Flask and then um ROM. Okay, so from Flask underscore SQL ALCHEMY. Okay, so from Flask SQL alchemy, I'm going to import the SQL ALCH SQL alchemy. Okay, so why are we okay? So anyhow, so we are not getting any errors right now. So I'm going to make not this one, below this one I'm going to make here some space, and then I'm going to add here something like app.config. okay, and then I'm going to create here the brackets, and in this one something like this. So now let's give here something like SQL alchemy ALCHEMY alchemy, and then I'm going to give it the underscore, and now I'm going to give it the database something like this app.config SQL alchemy, and then database underscore dot URI. So I have searched how to use this URI, something like that. So I have given here something in this one. I'm going to make here some this one, and then I'm going to give SQLite, and then let's give here these slashes, and in this one I have to give something like to do dot db, something like this. Okay, so to do dot db, and then so here we are getting the now let's check in the this one from Flask import Flask. Okay, so let's check. Install. Right now we are not getting any errors. So now let's give again app.config. okay, and then app.config I'm going to make this one something like in this one SQL ALCHEMY SQL alchemy. So I'm going to just copy this, and instead of this one I'm going to paste this one. So now I'm going to remove this whole thing, and then I'm going to give like track. Okay, and then I'm going to give her the modifications modifications something like this. Okay, anyhow, so now I'm going to give here the db. okay, and db is equals to the SQL level al SQL alchemy. Okay, so it is not okay ALCHEMY SQL alchemy, and then in this one I'm going to call this app. Okay, now so let's do one thing. So we have this db.sql alchemy and .app, and now I'm going to create a class. Okay, and I'm going to give something like its name to do, and in this one I'm going to give here the db database. db means database, remember. So I'm going to give here, I'm going to make this one some smaller. So in this db I'm going to give here the db dot model. Okay, so I'm not clicked here. db dot model db dot model. So I'm going to make here this one, and then I'm going to give it the serial number. S number is equals to the db dot column. So ULUMN. So basically here I am creating the class. So let's check whether we are still getting any errors. So it's going to still get that one because we are still writing the database. So still we are going to create the database. Okay, so here I have the column, and in this one I'm going to give like db dot integer integer. So db dot integer comma primary primary key, and that is equals to the true. Okay, so we have db integer which is equals to and we have the primary key which is equals to the true. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this one, title title, and then here I'm going to give the content, or let's give the desc description, and in the end of this one I'm going to make a equals to, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste db.column. So title is not going to be integer, so it's a string. So for that, let's do one thing. So instead of this one, instead of the integer, let's give it the string, string string. So db.model, we are getting here the error. So I think I have to import some more things. So let's leave that one. So let's take the errors later on. So I'm going to give her the characters should be something 200 to 300. So let's give 200. Okay, and then beside this primary key should be true itself, and description should be equals to the db column. I'm going to paste this db column, and instead of this integer, okay, so this should not be the integer description, and this should be the string. Okay, and this should be, I'm going to give something like 500. So we have the primary key is equals to the true, and then I'm going to give here one more thing, and that is the date created. Now let's give here something like date created is equals to the same thing, but this is not going to be the same thing because this is the date. We are not, so here we are getting the, so from the time we are getting the numbers, the titles, this description, but here I should get the date created, and it should be db dot column, but it should be db dot not also integer, so it should be date time, something like that. Okay, so first of all I have to import the date time, right? So for that I'm going to press here enter, and then I'm going to give here like something like from date time I'm going to import. Okay, from date time I'm going to import the date time, date time. Okay, so from date time we are going to import the date time, remember. And then one more thing, I'm going to give here in the string we have, where we have this 200, and we have this primary key, so it should not be the primary key. So the not the title also should not be the primary key, right? So instead of this description I'm going to give here the nullable. The label is equals to the false. So this should not be this one. I'm going to copy this and paste, and instead of this I'm going to paste false, something like this. Okay, so from that time we have imported the what we say, from date time we have imported the date time, something like that we have imported right now. Now instead of this db dot integer, I don't want this integer, so here it should be date and then time, from date time, and we have the comma, so I don't want this one. So instead of, I'm going to copy this, remove this one, and I'm going to give it the default defau, and the default should be the date time, date time dot utc dot now, and ow, something like this. Okay, so now it should be dot now, so utc dot now, Anyhow, so the default is, so one thing I'm not able to understand is that here when we are typing something we should get something like, I want to show you how it is. So I should get here something like, hey, you can type the, for example, if I am typing something there, for example, I'm going to show you that one here. So if I type like the creative, what is virtual environments, for example, if I am typing this one, okay, so I'm getting something like this here. So I'm not able to understand that why I'm not getting that while I'm typing. So before this one, from the time I was getting this one. So let's run this program again and then let's check where is the error that we are getting. So now I'm going to open this PowerShell. So this is the one. Okay, so let's use this one itself. So python app.py, this one. So now I'm going to, okay, so see what object has no attribute. Integer, do you mean? Okay, so here we are getting this error, so I have given, so there will be a writing mistake that I have done. So now let's do this one again, and it's taking some time for doing this, so nothing has happened here. Okay, so here as you can see here, I have given here like app config SQL alchemy track modifications is equals to false, because if I don't give equals to false, then I'm going to get here something like, you are going to get some warnings. Okay, so I'm going to save this now. Okay, so it's going to show me the traceback. Okay, so that's why I'm going to give here equals to false, something like this. Anyhow, so now we have done with these things. Let's do this again. Okay, so now it's still running. Now what I want to do is I want to create the database. Okay, so for that I'm going to open the PowerShell here and I'm going to press enter right now. So first of all, before doing this one, so here I am going to create another definition known as define, and so here we have done the class. So I'm going to give here like def dunder repair, R-E-P-R. So then in this brackets I'm going to give here something like self, and so def repair self, and then I'm going to give here something like dash this symbol, and then I'm going to give it this tr, and now I'm going to give here something a return. Okay, and return I'm going to give it the f string, and then I'm going to give here in the quotation marks I'm going to open the brackets. Okay, and then I'm going to give a self dot s number. Okay, so we have the SNO. So SNO means S means serial and N numbers mean NO means number. Okay, so self dot this one, I have done this mistake. So right now I'm going to run this one here. So self dot SNO, and then I'm not going to do anything here, then dash, and here I'm going to create this one, and self dot, I'm going to give it the title, something like this. Now let's create the database. So we are getting, so now we are not going to, okay, so we are not getting any errors. Now I'm going to open here the Python, and in this shell I'm going to create the database. So I want to show you. So here we have three folders like environment and static folder and templates folder, and then we have a app file. So let's keep this one like this only. So now we don't have anything right now. I'm going to give here the, I'm going to import the app and db from app import db. So from app import db I have imported, and right now after that I'm going to give here the db dot create underscore all, something like this. So I'm going to press here the enter. So as you can see here, after entering this db.create all, I'm getting here this one like to do.db. db means database. So I'm getting like to do.db. Okay, so if you didn't observed this one. So go, please pause the video and go back and check. So if you are doing with this side by side, then you can see. So now we have created the database. So now I'm going to exit this. Let's IT. So I'm going, okay. So now I'm going to open this browser and then I'm going to type here something like SQLITVIEWER. Viewer. So I want to see SQLite viewer. So in this one, I want to see how this one is. So I'm going to go here and let's go here. Now let's open where it is. It's in the code. So Flask of development. I'm going to take this one. So nothing. Or so I'm going to take this from the code and Flask of development to do. So we can see here the, so we don't have anything on our SQLite viewer. So if you are using MySQL, then it has been already created the rows in this table, something like that. Okay, so here we have select. So now if I execute this one, so we don't have anything. Now we can add here, I think, some things. So when I'm clicking on this execute, I'm not going to get this here anything. So now what I want to do is I want to make here some records. So I want to fill this database. So now I'm going to open the VS Code and close this one. Okay. So now here below I'm going to remove this return. We don't need of this. Okay. So below this hello world, I'm going to give it a to do. Okay, and not this one. To do is equals to, okay, so if to do is equals to do, so then I'm going to give there something like title, and then title should be something like first first, and it should be to do. Okay, and then I'm going to give it the comma and description desc. Okay, so anyhow, so description I want to give here. So here basically what I'm doing is I'm filling this out, or I'm filling this database. Okay, so I'm going to give here something, some text I have to give here. So I have to give like, so sub SCRI be subscribe to my something like this. Okay, so subscribe to my channel. So I have given something like this, and then I have searched it how to do db session, how to add that. So I have given like db dot sess db dot session. I have to add that one, and then in this one I have to give something like to do, and then I have to do this again, db dot cssi okay, db dot session, and then if I give commit, and I'm going to give it just bracket something like this. And now I want to do this again. Let's reload this one. Okay, so not this one. So I'm going to open this PowerShell, and here I'm going to type python app.py. Okay, so it's running. So I want to close, not close. Let's make this one smaller or minimize. Now I'm going to open this one right now, and at this point I'm going to paste this one here, execute. Why it has not happened? Let's check here this one, control C. I'm just going to in the, okay, so we have db commit and we have the db session. So we don't have anything right now. Now let's do one thing below this one. Okay, below this one I'm going to give here something like all to do, to do all to do is equals to the to do. Okay, and then to do dot query query dot all, something like this. Okay, and now I want to give here something like print all to do, something like this. Now let's do this one again, python app.py. So we are not getting any errors. Okay, so here the error was going, so MMIT. So the error was, I think, this one itself. So now Now it's still running. Now I'm going to reload this one, so we are not going to get any errors. Now I'm going to open this, reload this one, nothing has happened. Now I'm going to move this one here itself. Okay, so as you can see here, we are getting subscribed to my channel because I have reloaded this one time. So if I reload, I've done this a lot of times. So now I'm going to execute. So I'm going to reload this again, and I'm going to paste this one here. As you can see here, we have a lot of records here. So subscribe to my channel, my first to do. So I'm getting all of these things, like I'm getting the date created, the description, the title, the serial number. I'm getting all of this stuff. So I want to, so now what I want to do is I want to show all of these records on our this one, on this home page. Okay, so I'm going to close this one now. Right now we don't need this. I'm going to close this one. So we have this comment. So one more thing I want to show here is like below the products. Okay, I'm going to give you something like all TOD or all to do, and if it's equals to the to do, and then to do dot query query dot all, something like this. If I give, and then I want to give here something like print all TOD or something like this. Okay, so now if I now let's, okay, so it's still running. Now if I reload this, so nothing has happened here. So wait a second, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste below this one, and let's check. Now I'm going to press here Ctrl C, Python app.py. So it should be shown somewhere around here itself. So now what I'm going to do is like, okay, so now we have the all to do. Now in this place, thing here I should get. So beside this print, and now I'm going to, okay, anyhow, so now I'm going to talk about this later on. So I'm going to show this later on. So first of all, I'm going to remove these two things from here. Okay, so anyhow guys, this is all for this video. So if you have any questions, please give it in the comments below. So up to this point, we have been created the our website. So now we have to make some changes, like we have to make some changes, like I have to give here the numbers, then I should get here some buttons as I said you. So I want to get all of those stuff here. Okay, so anyhow guys, that's all for this video. So if you have any questions, please give it in the comments below, and make sure subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and thank you, bye.